it's Sherri from Quilting Life, and I'm here with the February block of the month. I know it's a little bit later, it's February 6th, but the plan is first Monday of the month, and this month it just happened to be the first Monday, wasn't until the 6th. So sorry that you had to wait a few extra days, but I think most times it works out to where you're getting them a little bit earlier in the month. So I have some things to share today along with the February block. I have some questions that I'll answer that I've received through email and that I've noticed on the video and on the blog post. So hopefully I can clear up all of those and any of those questions that you have. Be sure if you still have questions, please go ahead and leave those either on this YouTube or on the blog post. But I'm going to answer all the questions that you have about that. And then also what we're going to do is at the end of the video, Billy is actually going to put up a kind of a step-by-step how to go and get the block patterns. If any of you are still having trouble with that, he'll kind of walk you through that, showing the exact blog page and where you go. And hopefully that will be really helpful for any of you that are having those issues. So anyway, really excited about this month's blog and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, before we get started, there are a few things I just want to go over with everyone. I've received several emails and a lot of questions, so I figured it would just be easy to kind of address them all at the beginning of today's video. First of all, if you don't have it yet, be sure you get the PDF that has the fabric requirements. This has everything for the 6-inch block size and the 12-inch block size. It gives you the approximate finished size of the quilt. And it has the yardages that you need for background, sashing, posts, the inner border, the outer border, and the binding. And also it gives you what you'll need for prints for blocks. So be sure you go ahead and download this. Now I have had a few questions as to what these different terms mean. The prints for the blocks are these darker pieces that you'll find in the blocks throughout the year. So that's what that is referring to. And then sashing is actually fabric when the quilt is put together that goes between the blocks. So I'm just going to show you on this. This is actually my 2020 block of the month that I just had quilted. And you can see on this quilt, here's a block, here's a block. This fabric is sashing, and it goes between the blocks when you put it together. Now, on this quilt, I used a darker fabric for the sashing, but you could also use a light fabric here. And very often, I will kind of use a low volume print, something like this for my sashing. So you have a lot of options for that. You can also use the same fabric for your inner border that you use for your sashing, or you can change them up. And so that is why I have them separated here on the fabric requirements page, but you could definitely do as I did here and use the inner border fabric the same as your sashing. Now for the section that says posts, posts or cornerstones are the blocks that connect the sashing pieces. Sometimes it's just a square. For this 2020 quilt, I used a square and a square post block. For last year's quilt, we did a little 4-patch, and for actually in 2021, I believe it was a 9-patch. But it could be a solid square or any kind of little quilt block that you want to use. So that's what that is referring to. And I went over inner border, outer border, binding. Now I didn't give you the backing requirements here yet, but you can figure it out based on the quilt finished measurements up here. So you've got that right there. Now, the other thing I will let you know is, and I did mention this in the January video, that I'm going to have a third setting option that uses the 6-inch and the 12-inch blocks. I don't have that yet, but if you're looking for yardages for finishing, you could just get a little bit extra. As soon as I get that fully designed, I will get those specific amounts to you, but these are for a straight set quilt, similar to the ones that I've done in the past. Okay, so I think that should hopefully answer all of those questions. And again, this is actually my 2020 block of the month, and the PDF pattern is available in my Etsy shop. I just actually got it quilted and bound just a couple weeks ago. Okay, so this week's block, or this month's block, is a really fun little pinwheel. And for my 6-inch block, I made it with 2 different reds, 2 different pinks, and then I used the same background fabric and 4 green accent pieces. For my larger block, I'm trying to incorporate all the colors from this Favorite Things fabric collection. So I wanted to get the 2 dark grays prints in to get some of that in the block, and then I did greens. And then I also used, for the 4 corners, I used another light print, which I kind of actually think I like this better, but this one is fine too. And then I used the daisies for the other background fabric. This goes together super quickly. You will spend a lot less time making this month's block than you did last month's block. And the main reason is that I'll show you the pressing kind of directions. You'll notice that these big pieces here, this was one rectangle, and you do an easy corner on both sides. And I love, love, love the mini simple folded corners ruler for that. So it makes these go together really quickly, and the rest of the block is just squares. And I'll go ahead and show the back of the big one too. So I did press that center seam open, but everything else I just pressed one direction. And again, you can see by looking at these pieces how quickly this is going to go together, because these are just big rectangles of fabric. So really, really love this month's block and hope that you will enjoy sewing it. Now, just at the end of this video, for any of you who are having trouble getting the patterns, Billy's actually going to put up a little step-by-step showing how you go to my blog and how you find the patterns and how you download those.
Hello everybody. As my mom had just mentioned, I'm here today to give you a quick demonstration of how to access the Quilting Life Block of the Month free PDF patterns if you have had trouble doing so over the last few months. So I'm right here at the home screen of the Quilting Life YouTube channel. We have all of the Quilting Life Block of the Month videos on a playlist right here. So I'm actually going to use last month's Block of the Month to give you an example of how to download those PDF patterns. So I'll select the video, go ahead and pause the opening advertisement, and then right down here in the description, you can see it at the beginning, the blog post with the free PDF pattern download, but to see the entire description, you're going to click the show more, and it's going to open up more of the description, but that is where you will go to download that pattern. So it will always be right under the description. The first link will always be that link to the blog post. So we'll go ahead and click there, and that will bring you to my mom's blog post about this month's block of the month and the pattern download. So we'll let everything load up for a second, and we'll scroll down. She has talked about everything, gives you the details, the instructions, the same video that you can find on YouTube. And then there will always be a box, and it'll have a different color, and it will say click here for the January 2023 block of the month or the February 2023 block of the month. And that is where you're going to click. That will then pop up, and it's all stored into Google Docs. And so that allows my mom to upload all those patterns for free so that people can just download them right on their computer. But you do have to go to the blog first in order to access that link. That's just sort of the way it is. But once you get here, I do have a Mac computer. If you have Windows, though, it should work the exact same way. There'll be a place where you can click download. So up here for me, it's download. And then that's going to bring up the PDF here, and then I can save that onto my computer. I can print that out, and that will be all the instructions for, that month's block. And so that is essentially where you go. You have to go to the blog post. There will be a link that has, click here for this month's pattern, and then you can download it from there. I also just wanted to show you one other thing. If we go back to the YouTube video, that's where you will find the free PDF pattern. There's also this introductory post with the fabric requirement, that my mom talked about today in today's video. And so if you click on that link, that will bring you here for the Block of the Month Fabric Requirements PDF, and that's what she was showing on today's video. And the same thing, it's in Google Drive so that she can store it for everyone for free, and then you can download that right there, and it should pop up, and you can, again, print it out or save it to your computer so that you can have it for the rest of the year and have all of the information that you need. So hopefully this was helpful for everyone. If you are having problems with anything popping up, sometimes settings need to be changed on your own personal computer, so you can look at that, but that is how it all works for downloading those PDFs.
Okay, so that's it for the Quilting Life February Mystery Block of the Month or Block of the Month. Both of them are interchangeable here. I hope you are enjoying sewing along, and that you, if you had any questions, that maybe those got answered either in the beginning of this video or with the little screenshots that Billy shared about how to download the block patterns. Just want to remind you that because February has just 28 days, that the March block will be available on Monday, March 6th. The April block, however, will be available on Monday, April 3rd. So I hope you enjoy sewing along. I sure love all of the ones that I see in the Facebook group and on social media. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and thanks so much for stopping by.